Hi everyone, it's Jerry. Here's another group of 5 puzzles. In each position it's white to play, and it's up to you to determine the best continuation. So go ahead, pause the video, see if you can find the best continuation for white. Okay, the solution to puzzle 1 is queen to h6, forcing pawn takes queen. That's the only response. And after rook takes pawn, the king has a couple choices. Neither one is good. King to h5 is going to run into a mate in 3 with rook takes pawn, or king g7 will just delay the inevitable for one additional move. Bishop takes pawn, forcing king to g8 or h8. Both of those moves can be met with rook to f8, and that's mate. So moving on to the second puzzle. Once again, white's move. Pause the video, see if you can find the best continuation for white. Okay, the solution to puzzle 2 is rook to h8, forcing king takes rook, and now this king is within striking distance of the white knight. After knight to f7, we have this fork going on, but not only that, we have the white queen now in view of the black queen. As is often the case in chess, unprotected pieces leads to tactics, and that's exactly what we have here with the black queen. After rook takes knight, queen takes queen, we just have white now with a material advantage, and this is going to be enough to convert a win. So that's the solution to puzzle number 2. Let's have a look at the third one. Okay, once again, white to play. Pause the video, see if you can find the best continuation for white. Okay, the solution to this one is bishop to e5. It's important to take into account that b2 is under fire. Both the bishop and rook are converging on that pawn, and so bishop to e5 interrupts that idea and also poses a very serious threat to black. White is just getting ready to take that bishop, and unfortunately there's no good defense. For example, if queen takes bishop, we just have rook to g8, and that's mate. Looking at an alternative, if bishop takes bishop, we once again have rook g8, one of those deflecting moves, chasing the black queen away from the defense of the bishop after queen takes rook. If queen takes bishop, and we just have these blocks that black can do, which is just leading to mate. If there's maybe one additional way to maybe put up resistance in this position in the form of rook takes on f2, one way of finishing things up is to just take the bishop, and after black recaptures queen c3, not only is the rook pinned, but it's also unprotected, which is that much more difficult to get out of. Usually it's bad enough if one of your pieces is in a pin. This rook is not only in a pin, but again, it's also unprotected. So after, let's say, queen d8, rook to f4, this rook is going to be lost, and so too is the black king. So that's the solution to the third one. Basically the key move to this puzzle right here is that bishop e5 move. Moving on to the fourth. Go ahead, pause the video, white to play. Okay, the solution to this one is this quiet move, rook to e4, maybe one of the more difficult moves to have foreseen, and it's important to recognize that this rook cannot be taken because of the mate in 2 threat, which is to say knight g6, pawn takes knight, rook h4, and that's mate. So it's important to have foreseen that, and assuming that black does see that, maybe there's another way to maybe put up resistance by way of knight to e7, which is doing one thing. Actually, while it's doing one thing, watching over g6, it's also getting in the way of this bishop's defense of the f8 rook. Now, why is that important in this position? Well, as a result of this last move, knight to e7, this rook now on g8 is overloaded, such that it has 2 roles. It has to watch over this f8 rook and this g7 pawn, and that's not really a position you want any of your pieces to be in, really, for any amount of time. And in this position, what white could do is implement this tactic of deflection, just capturing the pawn, deflecting the rook away from the defense of this f8 rook, and essentially what has just occurred, white is not only up in exchange, but also a pawn. If there's maybe one other possible variation, if, let's say, bishop takes knight, just removing that possible knight check move, once again, this rook is still overloaded. Since the bishop is no longer on d6 to watch over f8, bishop takes g7 will once again do the trick. Basically, pick your favorite variation to win at this point. However way you slice it, once again, white is up the exchange. Let's just say in this variation, white is up the exchange and a pawn. So moving on to the last puzzle, puzzle number 5. Go ahead, pause the video, see if you can find the best continuation for white. Okay, the solution to this one starts off with bishop d3, landing a check, and after pawn to g6, maybe one of the more difficult moves to have foreseen, which is to say this rook to h8 move, which is leading to checkmate. If king g7, we just have queen to f8, and that would be mate. So trying to delay mate for as long as possible. King takes rook, once again queen to f8. King h7, queen takes pawn check, king h8, queen back to f8, king h7, bishop takes pawn check, and after king takes bishop we have this nice finish, queen to g8, and just this queen and two pawns are covering basically all the runaway points that this black king could possibly go to. This is turning out to be checkmate. So that's all for this video. As always, I hope you're able to take something away from it, and be sure to let me know how you did by way of a comment. Thanks. Bye.